right to now, 10 years of service, and it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a great relationship all round, and I believe the best is yet to come. I really do. I think his most defining moments will come next year. And, you know, you saw yesterday the IBF basically saying that he's going to fight Filip Hrgovic for the world title. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. He is desperate to become a 3-time world champion, and I believe he's going to do it.
What do you believe Anthony's next fight is? We know talk about that December date. Picking up on that, what sort of opponents are we looking at? Maybe
I don't know. I mean, like I said, the news yesterday from the IBF changes things a little bit in the respect of basically the winner of Fury Usyk has to fight Filip Hrgovic, or they'll be stripped, and they're not going to. They're going to
make an AJ Hrgovic.
That's the fight, and I believe that fight will happen potentially for the world title. And if it does, we have to look at that. We've got the Wilder fight. You know, there's a lot to think about, but that news certainly just changes things. The goal is to become a 3-time world champion, and that would allow us to do that.
Does that give you more intent to make and push for the Hrgovic fight as opposed to the Deontay Wilder fight because of the landscape?
I mean, look, the Wilder fight is much bigger, but the Hrgovic fight comes with a world title. That will always take priority, but we'll have to see what plays out. Again, we're only hearing that it's a two-way rematch in Usyk Fury, which is disappointing, but we'll see.
And those are the words of Eddie Hearn as he reveals that Anthony Joshua versus Filip Hrgovic is for the vacant IBF mandatory slot. So whoever wins out of this fight between the two heavyweights will take on the winner of Alexander Usyk and Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. Wow. Listen, the 3-time world champion whole plan, okay, the purpose, the desire for Anthony Joshua is paramount, okay? Now, if you guys notice from Eddie Hearn stating that the Wilder fight is still, you know, a big fight, but guess what? The IBF mandatory is priority. So that should tell you everything that you need to know. That makes the Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder fight less likely, okay? Less likely, because Anthony Joshua's whole purpose, his whole desire, and his itinerary for his career is to be a 3-time world champion, okay? And I think that paramounts and trumps anything else. Now, unfortunately for Deontay Wilder, I think Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua should happen, but I think this fight would be the easiest fight. But one thing I don't respect from Eddie Hearn is the fact that he's not really amplifying that fact, that truth. You know, just tell us, like, look, it's more than likely a Deontay Wilder fight won't happen because we're going to wait around for the winner. And if we get knocked out by Deontay Wilder, we will miss our chances of becoming, or for Anthony Joshua to becoming a 3-time world champion. That's just common sense. Like he said, that will be priority. So that's exactly what it will be. But of course, Eddie Hearn has a great way of disguising by saying certain things, but not accenting certain things. He will say it so you won't necessarily look at him as a liar, but at the same time, you know, the things that he really wants or should accent or amplify should be said, and that's it. You know, not dress it up and make it look good. Well, the Deontay Wilder fight is a big fight, but, you know, Filip Hrgovic is a priority, so we'll have to see. No, you've already seen, okay? You can read that with your eyes closed. That since the IBF is mandating Anthony Joshua versus Filip Hrgovic, that's also a huge fight. So it will be justified, okay? We will see Filip Hrgovic taking on Anthony Joshua for the vacant title. So whoever wins between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury will fight those guys. Okay, so in the long haul, what people wish and hope, if I'm Eddie Hearn, I'm a gambling man, okay? I would hope for Tyson Fury to beat Alexander Usyk. Then we can have an all-British showdown for every single belt out there between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, a fight that we've been waiting to see for a long time as well, okay, since 2021, basically since 2020. But, I think, if anything, Eddie Hearn is in a good position once again because he goes from having no belts to a chance to fight for all of the belts. Okay, so the only thing that will be a stinker if Alexander Usyk wipes the floor with Tyson Fury twice. Then we will see Usyk versus Joshua for the third time. And we've already seen it twice. But then you look at Usyk from that time, you'll look at a 38-year-old Usyk or a 39-year-old Usyk because he'll be 37 this year. Okay, so a year from now, you would be looking at a 38-plus Usyk taking on an Anthony Joshua, and depends on what type of fight that produces. You will then see and get the luxury to see how that fight will pan out. So the question would be, where would Deontay Wilder be? Where would he fit in all this? But as you've seen, one thing we haven't talked about at all is the whole tournament between Joshua, Wilder, Usyk, Fury. We haven't heard anything about that once the IBF put their foot down. I find that real strange, right? Because that was supposed to be in talks for the longest. Now that just goes right out of the window. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of the huge news announced by Eddie Hearn and the IBF that Anthony Joshua will be taking on Filip Hrgovic for the IBF mandatory slot to take on the winner of Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!